Okay, so we have our front view created. We followed the directions here. We came down to 3.34 or 3.75. We came across until we lined up with our top view, projected it up, extended our line down, went ahead and projected these lines down, made sure that in our 3D view they weren't coming off the top. Remember, I talked about this last piece, that if we brought it from there down, we might have some issues. We want to make sure that they came from the bottom straight down. We took care of all of that, got it all taken care of. Now we're dealing with the auxiliary, which is what we're really trying to learn about. So to do the auxiliary, they've already put a line in here for us, which is how far away from the front view we want that auxiliary. If you remember what we learned about auxiliaries, we come off perpendicular to the angled face. So I already knew that that angled face was at a 45-degree angle. Perpendicular means 90 degrees away from that, or I could look at what AutoCAD is telling me. That's a 135-degree angle. Minus 90 would be my 45-degree angle. And I can just project that up into my drawing. Right now I'm just creating the box that that auxiliary is going to fall in. So I'm going to go ahead and extend their existing line up there, and I'm going to trim it at the bottom. To find the depth of that auxiliary, we know that we have depth and width in our top view. So I can measure that depth from the front to the back of the top view. We see that's 2 inches. So I could do an offset of 2 inches, and I can go ahead and take this line they gave me, offset it up. I know that this box is where my auxiliary is going to fall. So I'm going to trim according to these 2 lines. Now that I've got that box, I need to kind of visualize what this auxiliary is going to look at. Remember, an auxiliary is a view that looks straight at this angled face. So it's going to look a lot like the top view in this example, except for stretched out and rotated down. So if I go ahead and rotate that so I can kind of visualize it, and I rotate according to this corner. Okay, so it's trying to rotate in 3D. I'm going to escape out of that and try that rotate again. So if I rotate this object, and let's try this corner. Okay, so it wants to keep doing that for me. One more time, and then I'm going to show a different technique to check it out. Okay, there we go. So right there, we can kind of see what our object's going to look like. I'm going to actually do the rotate. We can see that we're going to have this little box right here. That'll appear somewhere right here. Then it's going to jog over and come down and come across, which is going to give us this boxed in part. And it's going to come down to the edge of what we have. So I'm going to undo that rotate. The other way we could look at that is if I click this corner here, it goes to that view of my 3D object. I'm going to go back to my normal view here. To get these depths, the same way we got the depth of the entire object, we can measure this distance from here to here, which is a 1/2 inch. And the back distance coming in should go ahead and be the same. So if I went ahead and measured right here, that's also a 1/2 inch. So I could use my offset, and I could offset in 0.5 and bring the front face right here in 0.5 and the back face in 0.5. So as I look at my object again, I'm going to rotate it so I can kind of visualize it. This line right here is this little line here. It needs trimmed up and modified. And this line right here is this line right here. To go ahead and get my lines that travel from front to back, I project those out of my front view up in. And I'm going to project those all the way across because I don't remember a whole lot of where they belong right now. If I rotate, I can rotate that once again. Okay, so it's going to do the same thing it did on me last time. Let's try one more time. Okay, so right there it worked. And then I exited out of it before I hit enter. Okay. Oops, I got my line across the top. That's all right. I'm going to hit undo in a bit. But we can see that it's going to come down along here, jog in, which would be this jog here, come down, comes down here, goes straight across, and has this little box down here. So I can hit undo again, and I can go ahead and trim. So I'm just going to trim a bunch of stuff out of here to get the shape that I saw there. So right there is my basic shape. Trim a little more here. And once again, I could hit this button right up here. We can see that basic shape right there. I might want to change this from 2D wireframe to conceptual. I can see that plane right there that I'm looking for in my auxiliary. I went ahead and created it right there. That's how we get the basic face, and then next we'll demonstrate how to get the front view that's foreshortened.